Hello friends, today I'm going to be answering the question, are short-term rentals allowed in Las Vegas? So by the end of this video, you're going to have a clear understanding whether short-term rentals are allowed in Vegas or not, and what steps you need to take to make sure that your short-term rental is in compliance and following the regulations that exist in Las Vegas. This knowledge will help you avoid fines and operate fluently in an area that are heavily sought out by tourists and people going on vacation. Have you ever wondered why short-term regulations are so strict in Las Vegas? Well, stay tuned as we dive into the legal landscape by first giving you a general overview of the short-term regulations that exist in Las Vegas. I'll then dive into the legalities and compliance to own short-term rentals in Las Vegas. And finally, what challenges you should expect and what considerations you should have when owning and operating a short-term rental in Las Vegas. And I'll even break down the 3 different areas of North Las Vegas itself, and Henderson, and what data tells us about owning short-term rentals there, if they're good or not. If you are ready, let's go. So what are the general rules and regulations when it applies to Las Vegas? And I think it's an important question to ask because honestly, who wouldn't like to own a vacation rental in Las Vegas? I mean, if you think about Las Vegas, it is a place that is flourishing with tons of conventions, events, concerts. The Super Bowl was just there recently. There's sports teams there. Las Vegas is definitely a destination that attracts year in and all throughout the year. It's really not specific for any season. I mean, there could be a technology convention there in January, and there could be a car convention there in August. Times it might be slower in other places, but Las Vegas always seems to have something that is driving tourists or people to attend there, and so owning a short-term rental would be a great thing and a cool thing to have. And for this conversation, we're going to look at it in 3 different ways, from North Las Vegas, and then Henderson, because each city, each municipality has their own rules and regulations when it comes to short-term rentals. Now, as with most places, to own a short-term rental in Las Vegas, you have to have a license. But one thing that's different about Las Vegas that I found is getting a license there is a little bit harder, actually quite a bit harder than most places that I've got a license to operate a short-term rental. Now, just to get a license in Las Vegas, you got the application, you got the fee, you also have a home inspection, and then an annual review. And why is it so challenging in Vegas? Well, a lot of times people go to Vegas to party. So if you have a short-term rental in a residential area, the last thing the neighbors want, or even the city or community wants, is a party happening in your house. There's definitely noise ordinances that you have to follow. The second thing is, think about it. There are massive and major hotels and casinos that operate in Las Vegas, and they have lobbying groups, and they definitely don't want people staying anywhere other than hotels, because if they stay at their hotels, what are they going to do? They're going to eat there, buy things there, they're going to gamble there. This is how Las Vegas and those casinos make money, is by people staying there. So you can bet that there's people and big organizations and lots of money that are fighting against short-term rentals when it comes to Las Vegas. So to qualify for a short-term business license in Las Vegas, you have to meet all the regulations for conditional land use, and these are all the things you have to comply with. So one thing is that you have to be owner-occupied throughout the time of the rental period. So for example, if you're renting out a room or part of your house, you have to reside there while that is being rented out. There's another mandate that you have to comply with, is 2 people per room or 10 people max on an entire property. So even if a property has 14 rooms, the max people you can have stay there is 10. And at least a 2-night stay, and obviously no parties. You have to comply with the noise regulations. And number 2 is have no more than 3 bathrooms. And here's another interesting one. You have to be at least 660 feet from any other short-term rental. And you also have to be 2,500 feet away from a resort hotel. And in the research that I've done, and one of the reasons they have that 660-foot rule in place is to help with oversaturation in certain areas. And if you think about it, 660 feet, you're looking at just over 1/8 of a mile. So it's not a huge distance, but it's enough to where you couldn't operate 2 short-term rentals right by each other. You obviously have to be in a zoning area that allows for short-term rentals, and the property owner must be the licensed holder. Now, another thing about Las Vegas is they are really strict when it comes to these compliance rules. Because Las Vegas is such a destination area, a lot of these platforms like Airbnb or Vrbo, they are engaging in cooperative efforts with local governments to give them all the data on how many people are visiting, staying, how much they're paying to stay at certain places within Las Vegas. And they're doing that for good reason. They're sharing that data, and it allows the city to regulate and track that data to know that they're managing the efforts there to allow short-term rentals or to minimize short-term rentals. They work closely with law enforcement to avoid illegal activities. And the other thing that Las Vegas requires, they require the platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo to report if anybody is operating or marketing a short-term rental that isn't in compliance with their rules and regulations. So think about it. These platforms like Airbnb, they are policing a little bit the people that own and operate short-term rentals. So you need to make sure that you're in compliance. Matter of fact, when I was doing this research, I found something really interesting. There was a story of a resident who was operating a short-term rental illegally, and they were posting on Airbnb. They had guests coming in. They were fined $180,000. And they factored that this person was operating it and promoting it and people staying there over 360 days, and the fine was $500 a pop. So 500 times 360 comes out to $180,000 fine. So owning and operating a short-term rental that's in compliance and that's legal in Las Vegas is really important, unless you don't care about being hit with a massive fine like this person was. Now we're gonna break down what AirDNA says about the 3 different areas in Las Vegas. Las Vegas itself, it has an annual revenue of $56,000. Occupancy rate is at 56% and average nightly rate is $316. The score that AirDNA gives Las Vegas is 97%, which is pretty great. North Las Vegas, it has an annual average income of $48,000. The occupancy rate is 59% with the average nightly rate of $265, and AirDNA gives it a score of 99. The highest it gives is 99. So North Las Vegas is a highly destined area. Matter of fact, all Las Vegas is. Let's talk about Henderson, which is the last area. Annual revenue, $62,000 over the year on average of earnings for short-term rentals in Henderson. Occupancy rate is 61% with the average nightly rate of $324 a night and an overall score from AirDNA at 99. So what does this tell us about Las Vegas? It tells us if you can comply with the rules and regulations of owning a short-term rental in Las Vegas, you are going to come out usually very well. And on the research that I've done and on the forums that I've looked at, there's a lot of people that are frustrated with some of the ordinances of the 660 feet apart from each other or the 2,500 feet away from a resort casino. But overall, there were people that said, if you can navigate the rules and regulations, owning a short-term rental here is a good thing. And if you look at it, like I mentioned in the beginning, Las Vegas is a highly sought after destination where you get a lot of people traveling to, not just tourists, but people that are attending there for work or conventions. I've been to Las Vegas before where I've rented a short-term rental and I was going there for work. I'd rather stay there than a busy casino. Some people don't like the casino feel, so there's definitely demand. Now, these are things that I've seen by doing my research when it comes to short-term rentals in Las Vegas. But if you own a short-term rental in Las Vegas, please comment, let me know your experience, and let me know if you think it's a good thing to own short-term rentals there or if it's been an absolute nightmare. Let's engage in a dialogue. And as always, just for stopping by and watching the video, I have a free gift for you. It's my short-term rental calculator. You put in all the revenue, all the expenses, and it will shoot out to you whether it's a good deal or not. Just click on the link below, aaronsfreetraining.com, 100% free, no strings attached. And as always, thanks for stopping by and watching. Have an awesome day.